Hi, I'm Jeanette, and you're visiting the Neil's Homestead. Today I'm going to talk to you about being prepared and what I think it really means to be a prepper or a survivalist or just being ready for whatever comes our way. So thanks for visiting. Well, what does being a prepper even mean? Does it mean you go and you stockpile a whole bunch of stuff in your basement where hopefully nobody can ever get it or even know that it's there? Is being a prepper learning how to survive out in the woods and rubbing two sticks together to make a fire? My idea of being a prepper is knowing how to do the things that it's going to take to be able to survive and to be able to use all that stuff you put down in your basement to stockpile. And then what are you going to do whenever it's all gone? That's what being a prepper really is. And when you break it all down, what being a prepper is being a homesteader. Because a homesteader can feed themselves. A homesteader has learned how to do things that can benefit them and benefit their neighbors too. A homesteader knows how to make a garden. A homesteader knows how to raise animals. A homesteader knows how to use the products that the animals have given them. If you've got a bunch of chickens out that you can throw some feed to in a pen, but you don't know how to butcher those chickens or even how to cook those chickens, then you're not prepared. If you can grow a huge garden and have all the tomatoes, have all the green beans, but you don't know how to preserve them for future use, then you aren't prepared. You need to learn how to use a canner. You need to have jars and lids. And you also even need to have a place that you can do all that processing. Because to be totally prepared, you need to be free from electricity and any kind of cooking source that is going to cost you money. You can be prepared by having a whole big pond full of water out here to use in your preparedness. But if you don't understand what it takes to make that water safe to drink, you're not prepared. Do you have a setup that can sanitize that water? Even if it's just having an idea of a big pan where you're going to boil the water for however long it takes to get the bacteria out. Or if you have a filter, or you have something in your mind and in your possession that you can put together to make a filter. If you truly want to be prepared, you need to have all that ready. It doesn't need to just be in your mind. It needs to be in your hands. An indoor bathroom is a fairly modern day invention. Our ancestors, even 100 years ago, did not have indoor bathrooms. They had outhouses for the most part. You took a bath on the back porch in a little pan of water that had to be heated in some other way rather than to turn the faucet on and have water coming out that's already warmed from your water heater. If you don't know how to deal with bathroom issues, showers, baths, toilets, running water, then you're not prepared. If you're relying on a furnace that's operated by electricity or gas, then you're not prepared, because that could be shut off in any kind of instance. Sure, you can fill up a big tank with propane and you can be ready for an extended period of time, but what if the propane runs out and there's no propane coming to you anymore? What are you going to do? Having a wood stove is the best preparation for a heat source that I can come up with, besides living in a climate where you don't even need any heat. Refrigeration is one of the greatest inventions of modern life. Before then, what did people do? Try to find out what people did before they had refrigeration. Because if the electricity goes out, you're not having refrigeration. If electricity goes out, you're not going to have a way to cool your milk or any other drink that you might like to drink cold. You're not going to be able to keep your meat for an extended period of time. You're only going to be able to make meat for today or tomorrow, because if you don't have any way to cool it, it's not going to last beyond that. Or I would say, unless you know how to preserve it in some other way. If you don't have an idea of what you can do to replace refrigeration, then you need to think about that. If you haven't thought about it or done anything about it, you're not prepared. If you don't have a plan for making light at night, then you're not prepared. It's not just having pretty lamps that have collected dust because you've used them as decoration. It's about having the kerosene you need to put in them. You can have a stockpile of cleaning products for your laundry and your dishes, but what are you going to do when that runs out? I think it'd be better to know how to make your own cleaning products and to have those things on hand and not have to rely on commercial products that you have to go to a store, you have to be able to get to the store, you have to have money to buy the products, and they have to be available. So learning how to make soap is a great way to be prepared. Even if you never make soap, if you have some of the ingredients on hand and the knowledge is what's really important to be able to do it. And speaking of laundry, have you given any consideration to the thought of if your washing machine doesn't work anymore, how are you going to get your clothes clean? Now, I have only used a clothesline here for many years. That's what I prefer. We have a dryer. Old guy kind of wishes I'd used the dryer because the clothes are nice and soft on his delicate little body, but that's just a joke. I'm just poking fun at him a little bit. But anyway, you need to make an idea of how you're going to take care of your clothes in order to be truly prepared. Being prepared is also about community. Do you have people in your mind or actually organized, who you plan to be with or work with or help you and you help them? Think about having a community that you can pull together with, bond with, plan with, help each other during the time that you are preparing for. You might have the experience of knowing how to garden and being able to make a good garden, but if something happens where you can't buy seeds and you don't have a nice stockpile of seeds at your house, then you could be out of luck. We've grown so used to the internet for easy access to information that probably many people have gotten rid of books in their house. Now, I'm a book lover, so I do have a lot of books. But if you don't have books in your house that tell you how to do some of these things that I've been talking about, then you might want to think about getting something that has like broad spectrum information on how to do things without electricity or how to do things without stuff that you have to buy at a store. So what I want to tell you today is that stockpiling things is fine and dandy if you have the money and you want to do that. You also have to have the space, but knowing how to do those things and perhaps having some reference books that you can consult to refresh your memory is much better thing than just stockpiling stuff. Because if we truly do come into a situation where you need to be prepared, that stuff is not going to last forever. And you need to know what you're going to do when that stuff runs out. So my idea is learn how to can, learn how to make soap, learn how to sanitize water, learn how to keep things cool if you don't have a refrigerator. Make a plan for an alternate heat source in your house if all you have is electric or gas. We don't know what's ahead of us. We know that times are kind of weird right now, and I don't want to be a doomsdayer. I don't want to scare anybody, but I think it's time to wake up and be prepared, because there are all kinds of things happening in our nation and around the world, and it's better to be safe than sorry. Plus, you might just start enjoying it and kind of get hooked on it. So have a good week, and I'll see you next time.